What's going on, everybody? It's Jamel Gibbs, your family-oriented entrepreneur. Welcome to today's live, and we are back with another farm hacking training for you guys. Looking forward to the information that we're going to cover on today's live. And what we're going to do today is talk about multiple creative ways that you can use farmland in order to be able to profit as a real estate investor. Now, keep in mind, we're not specifically talking about traditional farm strategies. So it's not about crops and cows, although those can be very profitable. What we
Facts.
are focusing on is creative avenues that you can use in order to be able to profit, whether it's raw land that you're converting into a farm, or whether it's converting a residential property into agricultural space, farmland. What can you do in order to be able to profit in that regard? Got my man Sawand Belcher back on the line. What's up, man?
Great day, brother. Hope you're doing all right.
I'm doing fantastic, bro. It's been a
Yeah.
great day. We was just talking before. Obviously, like you said, it was a busy day, man. But I'd rather
Bro,
be busy.
it's busy. It's busy. I closed on I bought four houses, sold them to myself, made
Congrats, man.
17 grand, praise God.
Yes,
So I'm getting everything in order because those are all four different flips for me
for
and then
sure.
and so I just locked up two other houses, so I'm busy.
Nice, man. I know you sent over the one house to me the other day, but unfortunately, that lady wants to back out of the deal. If she's still interested, man, we still want it.
I will. Yeah,
Um,
no, I will. I'll let you know.
okay, I did have a chance to look at that text message of the other house that you sent earlier today. I just got to run the numbers before I can give you a definitive answer. So,
Thanks.
obviously, if you sell it beforehand, because I know they move kind of quick. But if you sell it beforehand, that's perfectly fine. There's going to be others. We're going to do business, obviously, together. But
Absolutely.
congrats on the four deals closed, man. You sold them to yourself. Got
Yep.
paid $17,000 today. Maybe that could be
Yep.
another podcast we could talk about. That is a strategy I use as well, man. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Matter of fact, if you guys want to see that, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section. Let
Yep.
us know that you want to see that, and maybe next week or the week after or something like that, we'll do another live talking about something like that. So Juan, I know today we wanted to talk about uh, 10 or more creative ways. I know you sent me a list of things that we kind of want to dig into to really share with people the possibilities of what they can use farmland for, man. So, what's the first, first and foremost, let's talk about some of the things that you're doing, right? What's some of the traditional ways when you think about it from a bird's eye view? What's some of the traditional ways that people use in order to make money from farmland?
First of all, this is all real estate. So understand that nothing we're going to talk about today is nothing without actually having a deal or having a deal under contract or buying some kind of property. I always relate it back to real estate because at the end of the day, this is real estate investing. Okay. Rent checks in this particular fashion in the farming world is just a little different than having a tenant in place. It's going to come from multiple tenants, leasing a portion or paying a fee or buying a ticket in some form or fashion multiple times per month. So, first, you got to understand that we actually own properties.
That's right.
We actually own properties, and I think that's most important. Okay, but when people think about buying land and starting a farm, they traditionally think, you know, corn, cotton, tobacco. Especially down here in the South, and they're thinking tractors. They're thinking roads. They're thinking sweating. Bending over, breaking your back, selling stuff at the market. Um, when I'm talking about farming, that's why we call it farm hacking. When I'm talking about farming and bringing in an income, It's about doing things that I like to do that someone else would be willing to pay for, while I use that income to pay for the property where we stay. So just understand from that perspective, that's what I'm talking from tonight. That's what we're speaking about is I want to use my house and the land that I stay on, right? And then I want to be able to use that land to make money to do things that I like that other people are willing to pay me for. And it makes me smile because it's like that's like a real thing. Literally, I had Nisha, my event coordinator, she brought somebody by yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, yo, bro, let me know if you ever want to bring your gun out and shoot at the range. He was like, oh, you got a range back here? I was like, yeah, I got a range on the other side back there. We went over there. He actually had the toolie on his hip. So we shot a couple steel targets. And it's like, oh, I definitely gotta come back and do that more. You know.
Nice.
So that's value to that. There's value to that. So
Absolutely, man. So that's where the farm hacking play really came into existence. It's really using creative strategies in order to be able to do what you want on your land, right? And as long as it qualifies, agriculturally as farming, you can
yeah,
make a profit from it. So let's talk about some of these different ways, man. Let's talk about. I know in the video we mentioned trail rides. How does, first of all, how does trail rides connect with farming?
absolutely. Okay, this is good. Okay, so um I personally love the trail rides. Now,
Mhm.
if you guys are anywhere from the South, you guys probably grew up on your uncle, your auntie listening to some kind of hole in the wall music. Okay. In today's age, that's like line dancing, trail ride kind of style. And so before they start dancing at these kind of events, what they typically do is they either have a rodeo, so guys are riding bulls, right? Or they have a trail ride where they're riding horses. Like, so the whole thing of a trail ride or a rodeo is either there's horses or there's bulls involved. And then at the end of those riding sessions, there is let's hang out and network. There's line dancing, there's eating food, there's drinking together until everyone goes home. So a trail ride is a rural equestrian because we bring horses over to our property and we ride horses around. There's a rural equestrian activity that you can do on land, right? It promotes showing people the benefits and the experience of enjoying land. And so because of that, that falls under that falls under the aspect of farming in most states, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be growing a crop. In this particular case, trail riding is a rural equestrian activity. So you can ride horses, cattle, and other animals, and call it an event.
Cool, cool, man. Now, what's this you pick all about, bro?
So you pick is something cool. So well, I'm sure everybody knows about UPick because when I found out about UPick, I was young and I didn't even understand what was going on. So you see the strawberry. My mom would like, oh, the strawberry signs is coming up. We can go pick strawberries, and we go over to somebody's house, and they'd have rows, 50, 100 rows of strawberries. We go over and pick strawberries, right, and then we
Mhm.
go weigh them in and we pay them. That's UPick, right? So the goal, in my opinion, the goal of a farm is for you to be able to make a profit off your land and be able to have a place to stay so that the things that you like to do are paid for. And in that case, that's what you pick is. So some people do strawberries, some people do apples, some people do pears, some people do, bouquets of flowers like zinnias and peonies.
Mhm.
So that'll all depend on what you like. But essentially, you have some kind of focus and you're growing some kind of focus, and people come over to pay you to pick. You don't do any kind of picking yourself. So if you want to have grapes, if you want to have grapevines, people will literally come over, and pick your grapes, and then they will pay you for those grapes. So it's you pick.
Case in point, man. Right before we started this whole farm hacking strategy, I told you even on the last call, I took my daughter, my wife and I, we took our youngest daughter and our son, my only son. We took them to a strawberry farm, and they had a big, it was a school trip, so they charged each of us $20 a head. So it was like $80 for all four of us to go in. And from that $80 experience, all we did, we literally spent 30 minutes running around a man-made playground with a farm theme. We went to the barn to feed the horses. That was actually my first time. I wonder if I got a picture of it. It's my first time feeding the horses from my hands. I'm a city boy, man. So
That's literally a whole experience because horses are big.
yeah, we don't do those things, man. Listen, I'm a city guy. I'm gonna show you the picture right now. But that was an experience for me. Let me see if I can show you guys the picture.
There it is. Yeah.
See? So I was able to feed the horses. Then from there, we got on this we went on a trail ride, and from the trail ride, it basically took us to the end of the farm and back. It was like a 5-minute ride. And then from there we had lunch, and then we was able to go pick strawberries. And then they had a supermarket, so that's on the way out, right? So in the supermarket they got ice cream, they got all kinds of stuff. They got a little lake next to it, and it was just a real good experience. I think it's good for people to experience stuff like that, man. And it really opened up my eyes, because I'm like, if they charge $20 for me, my wife, my son who's only 2 years old, and then
Right.
my daughter who's 6, $80 right there. There was at least 200 of us on that trip, right? So that's $4,000 right there, and we was the first group, right? I think they had like 3 or 4 other groups that was coming that day. So if you just look at the ticket sales from that, and then if they have 4 groups, let's just say that's $16,000, not including the sales from what the supermarket, the farm market was picking up. It was that was a great day. You know what I mean? And I go there frequently. I started going there. I became a customer. I go there to get fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, because it's 10 minutes away from my house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, number one, they paid me, or I paid them to become a customer, basically, right? I paid them for the experience, and they're using creative strategies on their farmland in order to be able to generate revenue from the farmland. And so that's what that was my U-Pick experience, man.
Did you see a house there?
They had a house, but I don't think anybody lived in it. I think it was because the way they had it set up, I think it was an office.
Yeah.
They may have lived there, but there was a bunch of cars. There was like 4 or 5 cars parked in front, and it didn't look like anybody lived in it. It looked like it was they used the house as an office. But I could be wrong, man. They probably did live there. I'm not sure.
Absolutely. Now every U-Pick that I've been, we just went to one, Millstone Creek, and bro, literally we went there to pick blueberries. And bro, they had an awesome house right there in the front, and just brick house, freaking pool in the back. And then the owner, when we came through the shop, because they did the same thing like you guys did, you check out through the shop. The owner was in there, just like, just checking in on everybody. And you can kind of see him maxing out and cooling. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, this is just a testimony. Like this is it. This is great. It's great that not just I'm doing it, but other people are out here, doing it at a high level as well.
Creating opportunities to make money on farmland, man. I think is absolutely incredible. It really opened my mind up, man. And then when we did that podcast together, matter of fact, we did the podcast first. A lot of people don't know we did the podcast first. And during the podcast, you said, yo, I said, why don't we do a video at your house? We haven't done one in a couple of years. And you started talking about farming. So then during the video,
Right.
You know,
We came up
you,
with
you
the
can
name.
literally see in the video where we came up with the idea for farm hacking. You can
Yeah.
literally see it. It was crazy, man. It was an experience. So, hunting leases, man. So how does that work, bro?
Okay, so the next way I've seen and that I make money here on the farm is through hunting leases. The first time I got exposed to this is my daughter's calling me. Give me just a second, honey.
Hey, real
Um,
time, man.
right.
Real
um,
time. You got six, I got five, man. I
you
know.
know, you know, the first time I got exposed to a hunting lease was I was buying some houses from an investor, Mr. Bennett, and he was telling me that he had 75 acres of his own. Right,
Mhm.
he had just killed a deer. We had just put a deal together. He had said, "Hey, Sawand, come over and get some deer meat." Right, so I came over and got some deer meat from him. He gave it to me,
By
and
the
I was
way, how is that deer meat, man? I haven't had it yet. So tell me a little
awesome.
bit
You
about it.
gotta try. It's lean, so it's lean just like it's lean like turkey meat. You
Okay.
know, yeah, it's lean like turkey meat, and
Is
I've
it
had it
dry?
in bacon. I've had it in burgers. I've had it in steaks.
Nice.
Um, yeah. So
Is it
yes.
is it dry or is it
No, 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 no. As long as you cook it right. No, as long as you
okay?
cook it right. Um, I'll give you some this winter. I'll give you some. We're
All right,
kind of
cool. Yeah.
depleted for the year, but when December when hunting season come around, I'll make sure I give you some.
My brother-in-law was telling me about deer, man. He was like, "You got to try it." Now he's from New York as well, so I trust it. So
Yeah, no, it's smooth. Oh, it's smooth.
it's good.
But a hunting lease is essentially he has a even though he has 75 acres,
Hmm.
um, he can't hunt there outside of the season, okay, because of the hunting laws. So he told me that because he's retired, he told me
Hmm.
that hey, I got a good friend that has a farm and they grow corn and deers love corn, and the state allows him to get a deputation permit to hunt off season to help the farmers because they produce corn for the local stores. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's it. So he's the first person that ever told me about that. So the farmer that he leases that land from, he pays them every month to be able to hunt on their land. And then, of course, that farmer is able to, do his business as well and make money. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Hmm.
And so I started getting, kind of like, what does that look like? Do you have access to the whole farm? He said, no, he has a portion, another guy has a portion, and another guy has a portion. So I was like, that's cool. He pays per acre that he has access to. And then he kind of sets up his stations and lets the owner know when he's up there. So hunting leases is just the easy way. If you got a vacant piece of land and you can shoot there, then why have it vacant when somebody's willing to hunt those woods? You know,
Hmm.
and especially if you have property like I have, because the backside of it, I have a backside of 10 acres that I really don't occupy like that. Then you can have somebody pay you to hunt during each season. So
Hmm.
deer season, rabbit season, wild turkey. And a lot of times they'll just pay for the whole year because they like to set up for hunting season, not just hunt during the season.
Now I know with hunting, you need a certain amount of space, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So how many acres do you need when it comes to hunting?
So in the county, you need 5 acres or more to hunt. Okay. In the city, you need 10 acres or more to hunt. And of course, that'll be
Mm.
like, state or county specific. But that's
Hmm.
what it is. That's what it is here. But I mean, also, there's going to be rules that what you can quote unquote call or deem or name a farm of how
Hmm.
many acres you have to have anyway. But this is just one way out of the several that we're going to go through of how you can make money using your land, right? To cover the expenses and do the things that you like.
Now, how much would you charge somebody when it comes to hunting?
Okay, so for 7 acres, for 7 acres, every single month is $375 plus one meat share per season.
So pause for a second. So basically, you're charging that 300, you said
Three,
$375.
yep, 375. and then it's kind of like a barter. I like eating the meat. I want I want some wild turkey. I want some rabbit. I want some
Give
deer.
me from.
Yep, exactly. So so they're getting a little discount. So 375, and give me one meat share, per season.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
And then that meat usually lasts you how long?
Well, one deer. So let's say one deer is 200 pounds. Then you got like 20 pounds of waste. So you got 180 pounds that you're splitting. So he's giving us 90 pounds of meat. And like I said, I kind of like going out there a little bit. I'm not a hunter, but I can appreciate being outside. So when he's out there, I'm like, oh, let me be back there with you real quick,
Right.
get the experience. But then also we get the meat. So and that's cool. So with one deer, about 90 pounds. So we get half of what, the animal is. And then, yeah.
Now, how often do you have people come? Like, how often are you having people come hunt on your land?
During season. So during the hunting season is like December to March.
Got it. So
But
you're
but
usually booked out.
yeah, but during the off season, like you didn't go back there, but they fill the deer feeder with corn to keep the deers around. Right.
Okay. So
They
you brought
make
them
sure
in.
they make sure there's enough brush areas so that the rabbits feel safe. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? They help cut the grass back there because the turkey won't come if the grass is too high.
Got you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the hunting season is typically between December and March, but they also pay for those other months because it helps set up to keep the animals around.
Okay. And again, if you guys are interested in, let's say, hunting, there was a guy on YouTube. I'm
Yeah, they
not
left a
sure.
comment. Yeah.
He left a comment, right? He was
Yeah.
interested in supporting your property as far as hunting. So
Yeah.
what about?
What he was interested in doing was not supporting. He was interested in hunting.
Got you. Yeah, that's right, man. That's right, bro. So what about camping, man? Like how would that tie in? Like I know sometimes people look for rural land
Yeah.
for camping. How does that work?
So I'm sure. Well, you have Airbnbs,
Mm-hmm.
all right? You got Airbnb. So Airbnbs, most people don't know. Like the same way you will go into a new city, you can pull up Airbnb and you can check into a spot, and boom, you have a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
There are also websites that allow you to do the same thing
Really?
for camping.
Oh
So,
man, I didn't know that. You see, you
yeah.
learn something new every single day, man.
So
Come on, I just picked that up.
literally, you don't need nothing other than a plot of land,
Wow, man.
So check out hipcamp.com. Check out, that's one of them.
Hipcamp.com.
Yeah, and I get the best traffic from hip
That's
traffic,
super dope, man.
hipcamp.com. But essentially, as long as you have at least an acre or more, people are looking for those kind of experiences where they either you can have a tent or they can bring their own, or you can have a camper or they can bring their own. So essentially, people are looking to have a rural experience, whether that's in a tent or whether that's in a camper or whether that's just out there on your land having a little bonfire and roasting s'mores. Not
Oh,
everybody
wow,
has that
man.
experience.
You just blew my mind, bro. I just came up with a crazy idea. So the other day I released a video. Many of you guys have probably seen it already regarding how to find cheap land, right? So, and this is a play. This is created right on the spot, right? So this is happening in real time, guys. So I created this video. You probably saw the video, Sawand.
I
How to
did.
find cheap land for under $1,000, right? What if you can find cheap land that's suitable for camping for less than $5,000, and then go to hitcamp.com and rent the land out? How often do you have people come in to rent camp on your land?
So for me, what I personally like, as far as like my work habits and stuff like that, because this is just something extra that I do. I only allow 2 bookings a month. Okay.
Nice.
And the minimum is 2 nights for the camping stays.
How much
Okay.
do you charge them?
And I charge $125, and I charge $125 for 2 nights. So it's $250 a booking. So I don't,
250 is a
yeah,
book. Now you have 2 of them, so you're making about $500 a month right there.
yeah, yep, just on that. And so we have a little airstream. Literally, I don't have no power to it. It's just an airstream, and there's a fire pit with 2 chairs.
I'm looking at Hip Camp right now, man. This
Yeah,
is crazy.
yeah,
And
hipcamp.com.
it has an Airstream on it. Look at that.
Bro, I'm telling you. And then if people want to rent my four wheeler, they can rent my four wheeler for 3 hours at $150 on top of that. So
So you make it an experience for them at that point.
I'm trying to make an experience for them, because it's literally just an outdoor activity. If they want me to set the fire up for them, I have chopped wood. I don't know. You saw over there when I was at the bar. I have chopped wood for them. So I'll take on some chopped wood and I can set the fire for them for an additional $50. That kind of thing. It's really not hard. It's just extra land that I have back there. It has its own driveway off of Steeplechase. And if people want to sit back there and have a little camping experience, praise God. Yeah.
You just gave me a crazy good idea, man. We might want to, I'm going to talk to you after the live, but this is how creative thinking works in real time, guys. So you see how we come up with these ideas. When we come up with the idea, it's not about just thinking about it. We take action on the thoughts that we have. And when you think outside the box, look, we literally just came up with a cheap land strategy where you can probably get some camping land and then use Hip Camp or whatever that website is, hipcamp.com, to make some money off of the land. That's something I literally just thought about, right? And that's a play.
It is. No, it is right there. It is. No, one of the guys that my kids go to Vandalia Christian School, and one of the parents there, they bought some land in Asheville. Now, the land that they bought is like a part of some conservation something, so you can't build on it. But what he did was make a tree house, and he put it on Hip Camp. Called it a hiking experience. Called it a hiking experience. And so, of course, because you can't build on it, he was able to get it for cheap. So he got 10 acres for like $8,500. He spent another $6,000 building a small tree house, and he provides a camping experience for people that want to hike around on this mountain. And he finds people on hipcamp.com.
My friend Jeff owns some land up in the mountains. I think was it in West Virginia or Virginia? We were there back in as a matter of fact, we went there January 1st of this year. It was freezing outside. Me, him, and my dad. We walked around a good portion of the land. It's like 50 acres or whatever it is. And he showed me around the land where he was planning on building a house. It's like a vacation spot where a lot of people go just to get into the mountains, right? He was offering the land to me for sale. You just gave me an idea, man, of how I can use that land. Because I honestly, I wasn't interested because it's like an hour and a half away from here, 2 hours. And I'm like, I'm not really interested in building a house here. But you just gave me an idea of how I can use that land. He still owns it. I'm going to reach out to him, man. That's a play. That is a play.
Bro, it's a way. And so Juanita said, do you have a groundskeeper? Okay, so 22 acres sounds like a lot, but 22 acres is not a lot. We don't need no groundskeeper. It's just not that much. Now, one of my investors, he has 580 acres.
That's a lot.
Okay, so yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. So I have 5 driveways, and the way I protect my driveways from random people not getting on it is I have 2 6x6 posts on each driveway with a yellow chain. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. Somebody try to run through that chain, bless their car's heart. And then we also have, deer cameras and security cameras and stuff like that. But it's not 20 acres. I literally can jump on my four-wheeler and do a 5-minute perimeter check. It's not really a lot to monitor. It's not really. So you don't really at this level, which I'm nothing compared to a lot of guys as far as land acquisition goes. You really don't need to add any extra, you don't need to add any extra. So,
right.
And especially for my particular thing, like my goal is I want to be able to live where I live for free. So now if you're trying to do something to make $1 million, then, hey, you might want to hire some people because, of course, delegation is the key to elevation. But in my particular case, no, man.
So I know you mentioned in the video that we did that you had some water running through your land. Do you have like a big body of water, like a pond or anything like that on the property?
Nope, not yet. Not yet. But I do want it. So last year I bought a house on Old Highway 52 in Winston-Salem, and I inherited a boat.
Nice.
Yeah, my neighbor Jesse, he has a pond back there. So I pay I pay him $50 a month to keep my boat on his lake, which is another thing that I didn't put in this list because I'm not making money like that. But so I would love to be able to have my own pond to bring my boat over. That's for sure.
I'll say this, man. I've inherited a lot of cars from houses.
Yeah.
But I haven't inherited boats yet, so I'm a little jealous, man. I'm just kidding, man. That's super dope. But I've seen somebody write down what's the street that leads out from Alamance near that old girl's farm? Your business partner? Not McConnell, or it leads out to McConnell from Alamance Church. I think it's called it's not Neely. Is it Neely?
No, it's not Neely. No, Neely's a little further down.
It's not Neely Road. It's a street where so if you're coming from the elementary school on Alamance Church and you're going out towards, let's say, McDonald's, but you don't reach the gas station yet. So before that, you could cut down. I'm trying to remember the name of the street. Anyway, down that street, I've literally watched people, because I think a lot of people down there are farming now. Right. Yeah. I watched somebody literally build a pond on his property. So that's where I was going with it. Were you planning on building a pond? What would something like that cost?
I would love to. I would love to. Well, there's two kinds of ponds. There's one pond where you actually are, where you're stocking your pond with like fish that you could eat and breed. And there's another pond that's just ornamental and for joy. The pond that I would want to have is that I'm stocking for fish. I'm stocking for fish. I would love to have, a 2-acre pond, that we could go back there and have the boat on and fish in. And it has its own little ecosystem, because we have snapping turtles and, all that good stuff. So it'd be easy. How much would that cost? It really depends on your crew. Yeah, it would really depend on your crew. But that's grading, and grading is a little expensive, So I haven't priced it out, but Mr. Bennett, that guy I was telling you about, one of my investors, he did a 4-acre pond, and it cost him $10,000 to dig it out and for the liner, and then he was responsible for filling it up with water. So he did a 4-acre pond. It cost him $10,000. And I think his goal was to stock it.
I got you. So in reality, based on his numbers, you can spend $5,000 and get a pond.
Exactly. Oh, absolutely.
I'm gonna keep it real, man.
How big you want it,
Because a swimming pool going to cost you $50,000 to $100,000.
Oh,
I would much rather have a pond.
Oh yeah. A swimming pool can run you up a bag real quick.
Oh, real fast, man. Real fast. I don't think people realize how expensive it is to have a swimming pool, man.
Nah, it's crazy.
It ain't even worth it, man. But no, that's good stuff, bro. So from that pond, if you allow people to come on and fish, let's say you spend $5,000, you can in reality you can get that back relatively quickly. What would you charge people to come out to fish?
I'm paying Jesse $50 just to keep my boat there. $50 a month just to keep my boat.
That's crazy
over there. You know what I'm saying? He does have a monthly subscription. That's what he calls it. He said, "Hey, you can update your subscription for an additional $100 if you would like to fish anytime you want, and you can allow 3 guests to come with you." So, and because this is kind of like a residential area back there, he has several people. I don't know how many exactly. I would love to ask him now that you say it, but he has several people that go back there and fish. So I wonder how many people are paying him $100 a month to go back there and fish. And and he stocks the pond. Yeah, $100 a month. You come and fish whenever you want. Millstone Creek does the same thing in Ramsey. So
charge $100.
Charge $100. You can come as many times as you want. And they
business, man. Yep, business right with yourself, bro. So you can charge people to fish. You can charge people to come out and just hang out on the lake, whatever the case may be. The
Yeah,
point is, at $100 a month, if you even if you get 5 people, the pond pays for itself. And on a 2 acre pond for $5,000, you're talking about 10 months. The thing paid for itself. Everything after that is cash flow.
absolutely.
You
See,
know, so
the whole thing with farming, guys, like I said, the traditional way of farming is buying $100,000 tractor, putting down, $100,000 in the soil. Hey, that's cool. You can definitely do that. But we're talking about using your land. You're using your land to attract other people, to
mhm.
do the things that you like, that you can make money off of. Because realistically, I've talked to some landowners that have just like traditional tobacco farms that have a lake, and they got people coming out on a weekend to sing live music, and you know what I mean, and they calling it R&B at the lake or music at the pond. But we're strictly focusing on doing the agritourism side of farming.
Now, is fishing considered farming? Like, if you were to put that pond on your property and then allow people to fish, would that be
Bro,
considered
Google,
agricultural?
Google fish farming.
Mm,
Google fish farming. Google fish farming. There's a guy in Kernersville that has a worm farm. It's
yeah.
random. It
You
was
got bee
random.
farms, people
I
making
was
honey.
I was looking it up because I needed some worm castings because the soil for my garden area was like
Mhm,
just hard clay. I needed to, but I need a lot of it. I didn't want to just
mhm.
go to Home Depot and buy a 10-pound bag of worm castings. This guy told me 100 pounds of worm castings, and because he has a worm farm, and I was just like, okay,
That's dope, man.
yeah. I was like, okay, let's get it. You
Yeah,
know,
man, make money
yeah,
from the land, bro, for real.
yeah,
So, I know guys who sell honey. They have honeybee farms and stuff like that. So, yeah,
same thing.
I literally buy fresh honey from these guys because I eat honey in my. I'm on a cut diet right now, so I've been going to them to get. That's where I'm getting my natural sugars from. But
Nice.
speaking of which, man, you mentioned soil and things like that. Garden class, what's that all about, bro?
So now we do this this is more of a heart thing more than a money thing, but also we have we have 6 kids. So one thing that we've done 3 times so far this summer is have a garden class. We essentially it's $5 per class, and kids can come out for 2 hours. The kids and adults, the adults gotta stay. So it's $5 each person, and we just teach about how to grow food on your garden. How to grow food on your land, and essentially it's free labor because we have them pick weeds in our garden and pick some food, and we send them home with like a little with like a little seedling plant like a tomato or a
Mhm.
cucumber or watermelon or something. But we're just teaching them how to grow food. Very simple, very simple.
Excellent.
But another reason why we really do that is because it's like a give back.
Mhm.
And when you're doing all of these different things that's different, you need to make the county happy. And that's one of those things that they like to see us do. It actually says that in the statute that education about land is considered a farming activity. So we kind of throw that in there, alongside our VIP days to make it educational, just about land and growing food.
I like that, man. Now, quick question: how much are you charging for these educational days, or are they free?
Yeah. So with the kids, it's $5 per person. And like I said,
Mhm.
it's 2 hours. Nothing big. We spend some time in the garden, and then we go to the flower tree garden. So yeah, so it's just five. It's really we just getting out 5 to 15 kids out. So yeah,
So little by little, man. It's not like you're making. I know with the events, with
with the
the
trail
trail
rides,
rides,
that's what we make money.
that's a
I mean,
real
we make
bag,
money with the
man.
trail rides. Yeah,
Yeah, you make a real bag with that. This is additional money that
yeah,
you're making on the side, but it all
absolutely,
adds up throughout the month, which is fantastic, man.
absolutely.
ATV trail rides, man. Like what are you charging for that? How does that work? How much
So
land do you need for it?
yeah, this year we did that for the first time. This
Hmm.
year we did that for the first time, and it wasn't even something that I pitched or I put out there. It's I post stuff that I do real estate, because let's keep it real. I'm a real estate investor full time, but when I'm out in the garden or I'm feeding the animals, I shoot little videos and I put them up online. and I made a video just me being on the four-wheeler riding around
Mm-hmm.
the property showing the animals, and someone had said, "Hey man, my kids said that they wanted to ride four-wheelers and dirt bikes. Could we bring them out and ride on your property?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Sure, for a fee." you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
it ended up being five fathers, okay, and probably about eight children. But bro, they paid $500 for 3 hours, and I allowed them to have the camping space by the airstream so they could, make a little fire in the fire pit,
Mm-hmm.
and that was smooth. So so from that event, I just got a couple clips of them riding around, and I'm like, hey, if anybody want to have this, ATV experience, you know, it doesn't bother me any because I can't even see them from the main house. Yeah,
Now notice the theme, guys. Notice what we're talking about here. We're talking about businesses supporting businesses, right? Or people supporting businesses,
amen.
right? And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because Sawand mentioned he pays someone $50 a month. I'm sure this is a friend, right?
Yeah,
He's paying $50 a month to dock his boat. In my case, let's say Airbnb. Let's say my rental properties were booked out. Guess where I'm sending them to? The first person I'm thinking of is Sawand, right? So we help feed each other, right? So we're not looking for handouts, and by any stretch of the word. What we're doing is we're spending money with each other in order to continue our economy going, right? And when I say our economy, our investing economy, right? So we help each other profit, whether they're friends, family, or whatever the case may be. We're helping each other continue to push forward. Because again, if I got a crutch on this side and one on that side, I can't fall. And then that person has two crutches, and that person has two crutches, and we branch out. This is how we keep each other strong. This is why information is so important. This is why we share the information so that you can do the same exact thing, right? And we do have opportunities where there may be investments involved in things like that, but all you're really, if you look at that from a bird's eye view, look at the bigger picture, you're really supporting a movement that's going to continue to help more and more people move forward with what they want to do in their lives as well. Farm hacking is it, man. Farm hacking is a strategy I believe that everybody can benefit from. It doesn't require a lot of money out of pocket. And this is something that I believe anybody could be profitable with, if you have the right circumstances. And when I say the right circumstances, I mean the right mindset. That's really
absolutely.
all the boils down to, because you don't need a lot of money to do it. So that's not even a hurdle. You don't need a lot of education to do it. Farm hacking is what you can think of, and as long as it abides by local laws, what farming is considered to be, you can make a profit off of it. Will it take work?
Absolutely.
Is it easy? I'm not saying that you're going to push the easy button and just $1,000,000 is going to come running out. So on our call last week, you mentioned you made what, $60,000 last year or something like that.
Absolutely.
That's still $60,000. Somebody's full-time salary that you made just by
Very
owning
part
your
time.
house.
Very part time.
Very part-time, bro. It's paying for your house. It's paying for you to live there, right? So you literally live there for free. So the point is, farm hacking is what you can think and materialize in real time. That's what it is. How creative can you think? Look, I just came up with a camping idea when I found out immediately from Sawand with the what was the name of that site again, bro?
Hipcamp.com.
Hipcamp.com. That just popped in my head, right? You have ideas as well. Make sure they're in line with what farming is in your area and take action. That's all it is. The problem is most people are scared to fail. They don't want to, or they think they need all of this money in order to be able to do stuff. You don't need it. You just need to drive. You just need
Right.
to get out there and take action. That's what's going to separate you from everybody else who wants to be a real estate investor, but they're not. You know what I mean? Because they're not willing to do what it takes to become one. All right. So I just wanted to provide you guys with a little bit of encouragement with that, because this is a strategy that anybody, I can't really see how, you can get land for cheap. I know that for a fact. You can sell a finance land all day long. In
Absolutely.
fact, that's preferable when it comes to land investing. Seller
Absolutely.
financing is a major thing when it comes to land investing, because it's hard to get financing from the bank, right? Now, how can you use that land in order to be able to make a profit? And that's what this training is all about, man. So I see that you mentioned Hip Camp Airbnb experience, man. I guess I didn't. I guess I jumped ahead.
Nah, it's all good. No, it's all good, bro.
So why don't we go into propagating plants, man? What's that?
So, okay. So propagating plants. So if you guys are, I don't know, living under a rock on Facebook, if you'll go on Facebook Marketplace and look up plants, just search plants, you'll notice a bunch of people doing this. It's great. It's amazing that people just have backyard nurseries. Okay. So give you an example. When I purchased my house, it came with 6 rose bushes. Okay. They came with knockout rose bushes. And anybody that likes having a nice yard or keeping your stuff nice on the outside knows that knockout roses, you have to, once they bloom beautifully in the spring. You have to prune them in order for them to bloom again. And they will bloom 3 times. Now, when you prune those cuttings off, those cuttings can be planted in some soil and will start a whole new plant.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what propagating is. Okay. Or if you have a hosta plant, and it grows big, you can split it off. You turn one into 4 different plants. That's what propagating is. But essentially, you having a bush, you having a flower on your property and splitting that up and turn it into multiple. People make money doing that. Okay. Like I'm in the middle of acquiring, because I'm beautifying my property over here. But I went to one lady's house, okay, over in Irving Park. Okay. I went to one lady's house and spent $150. She had a buy one, get 3 free sale at her backyard nursery, just propagating plants that was already in her, yard. And I just went over there and I was just like, oh, this is great. And so I ended up running up $150 bag, and I spent 30 minutes with her.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what propagating plants is. It's just using the stuff that you have in your yard already, bushes, flowers, shrubs, and turning those into multiple different plants.
Love it, man. That's some good stuff right there. Only thing I've ever propagated was kids.
Nah, me too. I'm good at that. I'm very good at that.
Yeah, we both. Hey, you got one more than me, man. So, but we family men. That's what this is all about. You know what I mean? So families, bro. We trying to help families come up. You know what I'm saying?
No, me and my kids, we was out there this morning because the grapes is graping right now. August is like, time to harvest the grapes.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, me and the kids was out there yamming on them this morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, we in there.
Man.
Yeah.
And you know what's so good about that, man? Because like I'm eating healthy. I've done bodybuilding for years, man, natural bodybuilding. And I was off like since I gained, man, 30, almost 40 pounds during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And my wife and I decided, all right, we need to change up. My wife is in pretty decent shape, but for me, man, I ain't been this heavy in years, bro. So I'm trying to get this weight off my body, man. So we've been increasing cardio and just changing up to organic foods and things like that, and just eating real good stuff, man. And I was just telling her yesterday, I feel amazing. Like I haven't felt like this in over 5 years,
bro.
So
I'll pick 20 cucumbers out of the garden in one day,
saying, bro.
It's when so many cucumbers, I don't even cut them up. I just cut the whole thing.
Yeah.
I
mean, no aches and pains, none of that stuff, man. It's all because we're eating good, clean food, man. And when you can grow your own food, you know what's in it. You can't control what the supermarkets putting in their stuff, man.
Absolutely.
So that's respect. And now your kids, they understand how to do it as well. They can find and grow their own food. When I say find, they can hunt.
Right.
on their property. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's dope, man. I love that, bro. Healthy, man. Healthy. Um, renting equipment. Renting equipment, man. Like,
So,
what type of equipment are you renting? I know you mentioned a couple other things, but what are
yeah.
you doing?
So this is I've always wanted to do this since I was a kid. Okay, since I was a kid, because and I don't know if you guys remember this. Everybody from North Carolina, it was years and years and years ago. We got the biggest snow ever in North Carolina. It was 4 feet of snow.
Was that 2014 or
It,
no,
no. It
2017?
was earlier. It was earlier than that. It might have been It might have been oh 04,
I
oh
came
03.
down here in 2014. I left
Yeah.
Pennsylvania because we had like 4 feet of snow.
Bro, it was 4 feet.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe you opened the door and it was snow. I was like, wow, that's a lot of snow. And that snow made me think, like, dang, if I had a four-wheeler,
Uh-huh.
I could plow people's driveway. They pay me for it. But then after the snow left, I still be able to have my four-wheeler and have fun. You know,
Yeah.
so when I was that age, I had that idea that you could use capital to buy capital and still make money. So my wood chipper cost me $4,500. To this day, literally, two people text me today asking, "Hey, Sawand, is that $100 for the day or what?" So I charge $100 a day. You can come and pick my wood chipper up, use it for 8 hours, bring it back. And
Check this
people
out, bro.
literally, no joke. Look at my Facebook. People rent my wood chipper out.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
So they renting tools from you. You making
yeah,
$100 a day on that. I'm
yeah.
sure there's other tools that you can rent out as well.
My my
Another
guy.
thing like mhm.
I wish I had bigger stuff. No, I will say I'm on my way to bigger tractors, skid steers, and stuff like that because you really can catch a bag. So Mr. J, he will rent me his skid steer with a brush cutter. Okay, it's $1,000 for a week. Okay, for his skid steer and brush cutter. If you want to use his skid steer and forestry mulcher, it's $1,500 for the week. If you have a field that grows high and you want to hay it, he'll rent his tractor and hay baler for $700 for the week.
Mhm.
So you can spend that 50 grand, that 40 grand on stuff that you need to maintain your land, but then you can also, allow other people to use it for a fee and allow it to pay for itself as well.
Yeah, man. And you're again, I'm seeing multiple opportunities for multiple businesses just from farmland. There's places who rent stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, you're basically taking those ideas and capitalizing on it on your farm
You're taking those ideas, you're doing the things that you want to
to
do.
do. Right.
Right. You're taking the things that you want to do, and then you're allowing other people to pay you to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah,
That's
man.
why that's the hacking part of farm hacking, right? It's figuring out what you want to do. If you want horses, if you want to raise your own animals,
Right.
if you like being in the garden, the hacking portion is figuring out what can you do in order to do the things that you already like to do and have it pay for itself.
Pay for you to live there for free. Or
Absolutely.
even if it's rural land, let's say you don't have a house on the land. You don't need a house on the land to make money off the land.
Nah.
How can you get the land to pay for itself? That's what that's about right there. This is
Absolutely.
December 9th, 2018, bro. That was the last snowstorm I remember out here. Look at your boy with his army jacket on.
I love it.
Straight New York.
That's a New York hoodie right there.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
That that hood,
I had a champion hoodie on with the army jacket. I still got that jacket upstairs, man.
I
But,
love it.
with the Timbs
Honestly,
on.
for one of the guys that's from New York, they taught me that. Like you wear a jersey, you wear a hoodie underneath your
Yeah,
jersey.
you got to.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just like a hoodie underneath the jersey. I tried it out one time. I was like, this makes sense
Yeah,
now.
that's a fact, man. A lot of good stuff so far, bro. I'm enjoying myself. Do us a favor, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't. Share this video with as many people as possible, and leave your questions. We're gonna go over some questions in a little bit here. There's a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Breeding animals. What are you doing with that, bro?
So right now I'm not doing anything with that, but I'm seeing that my neighbors are. So, my goats, I purchased my goats from my neighbor in the back, from Jesse. And I didn't understand this, but at first I was trying to, I was clearing out the land because it was overgrown when I first bought it. And like I said, I don't have any major tractors, that kind of thing. And I spend my time, investing in real estate, not clearing out woods. I was trying to figure out who could help me clear out my land. I was talking to Jesse behind me about it. He was like, "Oh, we have goats, bro. If you want our goats to come over there, I can let them stay over there for a week, and they'll help clear out your brush. And if you want, then when we have the next litter, you can put a deposit down on the next litter, and I'll bring the baby goats over there." I was like, "Oh, okay." So the goats, first of all, you rent the goats out to help other people clear their land. Second of all, if the goats have babies, you sell the babies. He's like, "Yeah, we sell the babies. We don't keep any new ones. We just, as he said, as long as we have, he has 20. As long as we have 20, anything after that he sells." And so I asked him how much he sold the goats for. $225 per goat, with a minimum of 2 goats per purchase. And I was like, dang, that's good. Come to find out, this dude sell goats 6 months out of the year. And a litter is typically 6 to 7 goats. So my experience with breeding has not been me breeding. It's been me buying from the breeder, which is my neighbor, Jesse, behind me, for the animals that I have. And my pigs, I paid $325 for my coon pigs, per. And once again, the guy I bought them from had a minimum if you got to buy 2,
Where you keeping your pigs at right now? I didn't see them. I saw the chickens.
Yeah, so it's right now I have a shelter, but I need a fenced in area for them. But they're right there behind the garden. Yeah, they're right there behind the garden. I have like a little shelter for them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah. So right now, I like, once again, I'm not necessarily selling all of my stuff from the orchard, but I did sell peach drinks at our trail rides from our peach trees. So I finally got the
you got a juicer? You got a juicer for that?
Yes. Yeah, we have like what's the name of that? I forget the brand. I forget the brand of the juicer.
We just bought a juicer, man. It just came yesterday. It was like it wasn't even that expensive. It was like a couple $100 off of Amazon.
Yeah, but the juicer is it. It's lit. It's lit. But what made me think about making money off the fruit trees? Because I just bought fruit trees for our family, to be quite honest. But Mr. Chris, who's been helping me with like growing and making sure that I'm doing things in a certain way to make sure I'm getting a good harvest for the kids, for the family. I saw that he had 30 peach trees, and they're lined like this. They're lined in like a straight. He has 2 rows, and they're straight. But in the beginning of the season, I didn't know, but in the beginning of the season, these peach trees, the flowers are pink. And he took a picture and posted it on his farming page and say, "Hey, photographers, buy 2 hour section and set up photography in his peach farm, in his peach row, because he grows more than that." And he charged for 2 hours, and he had several, photographers that booked to take pictures, and they had several people come over to his farm to take pictures. And I was like, that is very interesting that somebody, forget the fruit on the tree, but just the tree itself and the beauty of it, people wanted to take pictures over there. And I was just like, I need more fruit trees. I literally need more fruit trees. I got the land, I got the space for it. I need more fruit trees. So you can, have that particular effect, which is the creative effect, but you can also, sell fruit or, once again, do a U-pick as well. But I love the creative aspect of things, because like I said, the stuff on my property, I really like eating the stuff, and I have 6 kids. I have a big family, so they will eat. I mean, the amount of eggs that they eating from the chickens right now is crazy. It's crazy how many eggs these kids, eat from the chickens. But I like the experience of just having the things people don't mind being creative and paying for, just being here and being in that environment.
I think I found an opportunity like 5 minutes away from my house, man, to purchase a property. It has about 25, 30 acres of land. I'm not particularly fond of the house that's on it, but nobody
Yeah,
lives there. So I may knock down the house and build what I really want, but I think there's an opportunity there for me, man. It's just and I think I could get it for like $300,000.
nice.
The
Well,
lady,
25 acres at 300 grand. That's a winner
that's a
chicken
win,
dinner.
win, win. That's
Yeah,
but
that's
I'm working on it right now, so we'll see what happens. Right now, the lady doesn't live there anymore. The house is literally vacant. Somebody comes and they cut the lawn, but nobody lives in the property, so it's just sitting there. Right. I
absolutely.
might be able to do a seller finance deal with them because the house is paid for, and I'm working. It's literally 5 minutes from my house, man. So um, I'm
That's
looking
that
at making
first recipe. Once you
yeah,
once you see that it's paid for, I was having a call today. Once you see that it's paid for,
seller finance.
hey, seller financing, seller financing. I'll always make the cash offer first, but once I see it's paid for, I'm aiming. My cash offer gonna be low.
I
Because
use the exactly you
it's gonna
use
be
the
strong.
use the seller financing. I use the cash offer in order to entice the seller finance and make it
Yes,
more appealing. You know what I
yes,
mean? That's the
yep.
way I can come up on the price, but it has to work this way. You know what I mean? So I like that, bro. I want to take some questions from you guys. So if you got any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat box right there so that we can go ahead and highlight your questions and provide you with even more value here. Um,
And by the way, guys, these list of incomes, these are just things that I've encountered and that I've experienced and that I would consider doing. This is not limited to, because I'm sure, if you talk to somebody else that's doing this, they're making money in completely different ways. Completely different ways. It's just that this is stuff that I've actually encountered, so I feel
mhm.
confident in speaking on the things that I've done.
Absolutely. And that's pretty much what we teach on my channel and on Sawand's channel as well. This is me taking action. We only teach stuff that we've actually done. I don't like to teach theory. So if we're
Absolutely.
talking about it, it's because either somebody I know, that's why I bring Sawand. I don't own a farm yet. And I'm very
I like the
transparent.
yet though. I like the yet because at
Yeah.
first, when
Yeah,
I first
because
bought it, you was like, "Dang, it's a lot of land."
nah, the
Now
yet
you like,
part is
"Oh, I
because
like it."
hey, I'm gonna make it happen, man. You already know that. You know what I mean? So whenever I really want something, it's already materialized. It just hasn't happened yet, right? It's
Absolutely,
gonna happen real soon, though. Believe that. But
absolutely.
um, either if I'm not doing it myself, I'm gonna bring on the expert who is doing it, right? But majority of what I talk about on my channel, I'm actually doing. So I don't teach theory. I don't consider myself to be one of these gurus out here, even though I was one of the originals. I've been around since 2005, one of the original educators on the internet. Um, but again, I'm consistent. I've been doing it. My channel's been up since 2008. I'm really just starting to get some traction now because I'm putting out more content. But I've been around the block. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been investing since 2002. Sawan's been investing for 10 years himself. So we are, and look, we're right at the beginning of this particular segment, we were talking about deals, right, Sawan
Absolutely,
sending deals over. He sent me what 3 deals over the last week.
because
He
that's
said,
how I
"Hey,
really make money.
exactly, it's how we do it." So,
Yeah,
just rest assured, everything we talk about is something that we're actually doing. It's not theory. Okay. Um, I want to take a couple of questions. Matthew James said, with Mary J. Blige, he's talking about that song "Can't Knock the Hustle" with Jay-Z. Yep, that's
nah, nice. Oh, you knew the
it.
lyrics. That's
Reason
what's
to believe
up, man.
that.
That's
Yep,
what's
that
up.
was it. That's where the lyrics came from, man. That was one of my favorite albums when I was coming up. And you know what?
No.
When I used to work on Wall Street. I'm not sure if you knew that or not. Up until 9/11, um, between that and building my businesses up, you know, artists like Jay-Z and Nas, and just listening to the lyrics, and actually I could relate to it because I actually lived some of the life. It kept me motivated. So it's amazing what music can do for you as well, and keeping you motivated to reach your goals. You know what I mean? So a couple of those albums that he had definitely motivated me to keep pushing, man, because it's not easy when you're building a business.
Nah,
You know what I mean?
we need each other.
Absolutely, man. So it says, how do you do farm hacking events? It's from Jess Ham. Jess is one of my coaching clients, by the way. But he said, how do the farming events and activities get taxed? That's a great question, actually.
Farms are tax exempt.
Ooh, I love it. Look, even more reason to go out there and get the farm, man. Come on.
Yo, so in North Carolina, bona fide farms are tax exempt.
Oh,
You know,
man.
so when I got my credit card processing machine,
I'm salivating, bro. Come on.
look, when I got my credit card processing machine for the farm, they asked me what my farm track number was for the exemption. It is what it is, you know. Farms are tax exempt, bro.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. That's a great question, though, Jess. We appreciate that, man. Let's see. We got gas draws. That's a funny name, bro.
It is, bro. It is. It must be from South Carolina.
How might insurance work on a pond, on a farm versus a swimming pool? More favorable?
Right. Yeah. So I'm about to pull up the statute for y'all and drop it in the chat. Mm-hmm. But liability wise, in North Carolina, North Carolina farms are exempt from liability. You know, when the general public are paid to do an activity on their farm.
Right.
So now if somebody you hire gets hurt, it's completely different. But if the general public comes for an activity, you're exempt from that. Now it will be smart of you, and I'm sure when you get to this point, you will take the extra precaution for the cost. Just like myself, I got the liability coverage inside of my homeowner's policy just in case.
Mm-hmm.
It would also benefit you to not just have your farm in your personal name, but to put it in an LLC.
I will put it under it. Well, an LLC is beneficial.
Yeah.
Well, but you can kind of disguise that with a trust too, man.
Yeah, that's where I was going next. Yeah, you can put that thing in a trust and have your LLC be a beneficiary.
Yep.
So it's not just the insurance piece. There's layers to it.
Layers to it, man.
Yeah.
I would actually set up, if you guys want a little bit of education on. I have plenty of content on my YouTube channel about this stuff. What I would do is put it under a trust, and then create another LLC, which will act as a personal representative of the trust that you own, and then create another LLC, which will be the beneficiary of the trust.
Absolutely.
We got multiple layers of protection and privacy that will, ultimately allow you to profit without a headache.
And we're saying that, in my case, I'm saying that layer of protection is worth it. When you got 22 acres, 30 acres, 50 acres, 100, it's worth it at that point. Now, if you got one rental property, just so y'all know, I'm not necessarily suggesting that you having 2, 3, 4 LLCs that you paying for every year and doing separate taxes on and paying annual fees on. But when you have something worth passing down, when you have something of value, then I think it's worth having that extra layer of protection, not just in insurance, but in your structure, like Jamel is saying.
I also, just to add to that, man, I think it's important for people to really consider starting early to practice what it's going to take. So as they become larger investors, they're already set. You know what I mean? So like Sawand said, do you need to do it on your first rental property? Probably not. But once you start accumulating more assets, you definitely want to reconstruct. Should
Absolutely.
You do it early on? It really depends on how big you're looking to go, what your goals are. I didn't start early on. I didn't know about this stuff early on. Right. So I had to literally like transfer deeds into trust over time. You know what I mean? Does it leave a little bit of a paper trail? Probably, but
Yes.
it is what it is. You
It
know what I
is what
mean?
it is. I didn't do nothing until something happened.
Yeah,
Just to be
exactly.
quite honest. Yeah, until something happened, I was like, oh, well, maybe that asset protection stuff I should start doing now.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. Good stuff, Sawand. Ron F. How much to connect property to city sewer? I don't like septic.
Why don't you like septic? So me personally, I'm 12, 13 minutes from downtown, but we're in the county, so we gotta have septic. There's
Mhm.
no city sewer here. You know, we don't have that. So we got a septic system. Um, yeah. Um,
It is
yeah,
what
that
it
that
is.
that's that is what it is. I
It
don't.
could get pretty expensive. It depends on if they're annexing city water out to the county where you are. You know, it really depends. You got to
Yeah.
contact your local area and see how much something like that would
But
cost
look,
based
but
on
look.
where the land is
So on,
located.
on Old Highway 52,
Hmm.
1238-7, Old Highway 52. I just did a flip. It was vacant for 20 years.
Hmm.
Apparently, when it went vacant, I guess they had some large equipment or dump truck or something park on top of the septic tank, so it collapsed.
Mm,
It cost me $6,500 to replace the septic. That's cheap.
yeah.
That's cheap. You know,
Hmm.
that's cheap. That's cheap. Everything's running smooth and dandy. It was an easy process, you know.
Hmm.
So on the other hand, the one I don't call it a new construction, but the renovation was so big, I call it a new construction, and it had a well, but the city would not allow me to use the well because the city had expanded. This was in Stokesdale. They had expanded the city water and sewer lines, so they required me, or they would fine me per quarter if
Mm,
I didn't connect to that tap. That tap was $14,000 to connect to the tap.
hmm.
So I don't. So brother, you're saying that you don't like a septic. I don't know why. I would really have to ask you and figure out
Right.
why, because expense wise, it's
It's expensive, bro. I remember
yeah,
we just did a flip last year where we had a septic that was on a property, but it was too small for what the property actually was. It was a septic that was there with the original house. So it
yeah,
was like $15,000. It was originally a 2-1
yeah,
when it was built, but it was extended into a 3-2. You know what I mean? And that septic that was there, it wasn't fit for the house.
yeah,
That was a large expense, man. And it was something that was unexpected, but that's what happens on flips.
for sure. Next time you got a septic job, let me know so I can get War Brothers.
Hmm.
They solid with the septics and they
It's
give me
solid.
solid prices. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Appreciate that, man. Um, Aluka Yod, Aluka Yode. I'm chopping your name up, man. I'm not
Yeah,
even gonna try. What do
yeah.
you use the pigs for?
Food. Food. Hey, see if I can get it on there. Come on, Zoom. Can you
Is
get
that the
it in
pig?
there? Yeah, it's the pigs. Of course
Just
it's
just
not gonna
hold it
focus
steady in one spot. It should pick up. It should zoom
here.
in.
Yeah, there
Oh,
you
there
go.
you go. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
How many
So
pounds are those pigs, bro?
so this right here was from June. In June, they were like 7 pounds. They probably 100 pounds now. So
Mhm.
you know, essentially from born to 14 months, that's kind of harvest time. That's
Mhm.
harvest time is 14 months. But I, the stuff I have, the first of all, the stuff that I have is to continue to maintain my farm status.
Mhm.
So that's number one. Number two is it's also nice to be able to, have that experience and show my kids responsibility of being able to take care of stuff.
Mhm.
And then lastly, I do like bacon. And so if one animal can be bacon for a year, I mean,
Mhm.
I'm cool with that. So that's why. That's why.
Hey, I hear you, bro. This is high tech hat says, what terms do you use on seller financing? You go first, and I can follow up with that.
I was about to say you go first because it's literally whatever you can create.
It really
High
is,
tech.
man.
Yeah,
It's
high tech,
whatever you can
whatever.
ask for.
Yeah, whatever you can imagine, whatever you can sweet talk.
Yep, and
So
that's basically what it all boils down to. I don't want to pay today's interest rate because for that I could go get a bank loan.
and that's
You know,
exactly what you say.
yeah,
If a seller says, "Well, I need to have 10%," well, just so I can understand from your perspective, if I can go to a bank and get 6%, why do you think it's fair to charge me 10%?
right.
You
Most
know,
sellers are not even going to ask that question, though, bro.
yeah, for real,
Not if they're really motivated. Like
for
I'll
real,
give you
for
an
real.
example. So one of my coaching clients, as a matter of fact, he just got his first $10,000 check about a month ago. He got another creative finance deal locked up, but that one we're having some issues with because she can't find another place to live, but he still got it locked in. But just like I think it was 2 days ago, he found another creative finance deal. It was a foreclosure. You found it on the foreclosure list. The what he does and what I encourage him to do, and I don't encourage this for everybody, but this is his strategy because it's continuously working. He went after work every day. He goes and knock on 5 doors between 4 and 6. He knocked on the door. The guy happened to be there. Had he sent a letter, a postcard, a text message, the guy wasn't answering. Right, the guy was there just picking some stuff up. He got him and was able to lock in the deal. They said, I don't even want a down payment. Just take the house, take over the debt. They
Debt relief.
literally said that,
Yeah,
right?
debt
Him
relief. That's
and the
great.
wife. They said, we just don't want the debt,
Yeah,
right? So just take over the debt. So he's picking it up subject to his $190,000 house. He got it for 103. It needs about 30 grand in work. But I told him to lease option that bad boy as is.
facts,
You know what I
facts.
mean? But the point in me bringing that up is a real motivated seller, they don't care. They just want to get out. Now, is everybody going to be that way? No. Right. Sometimes you will have to negotiate, but I like those easy cherry picking deals.
Yeah,
That's the cream of the crop right there. You know what I
absolutely.
mean? But yeah, I just thought I'd talk about that experience. I think it was a really good one. But seller financing is literally so there's different aspects of seller financing. You got subject to, which is a seller finance, an aspect of seller finance. You got
Right.
wraps and things like that. But true seller financing is done on free and clear properties, and you literally create the terms that will make sense for you as an investor.
Absolutely.
Literally, that's how it works.
That's it. So high tech, you create your own terms.
Yep.
Let us know when you find a seller that's open. You come back and ask questions, and we can help you figure that out. But essentially, as long as the terms that you create should allow you to have equity and cash flow.
Yeah. I
But
got a video that's going to come out
yeah,
on Monday. Look out for it. I'm talking about seller financing all through that video. And in addition to that, I shot it the other day. So that's how I know about it. In addition to that, I um I share numbers that you can look out for and how to how to structure the deal. So it's a little long. The video is like 20-25 minutes long, but it's there's a lot of good information in that video. Do you need money for real estate? I'm skeptical when I tell people you don't, because you really don't. But for that video, I just said put $100 down. You know what I mean? So that video is literally showing you how to use $100 to lock up a deal. All right. So be on the lookout for that one this coming Monday. Um, how do I get to okay? So this is Tracy Robinson. How do I get the equity out of my house without the bank? Um, how do you get your equity? You got to sell it. Sell it,
sell it.
or
Yeah,
you kind of gotta go to the bank if you want.
yeah,
You're gonna have a lender in some way, shape, or form. You know what I
yeah.
mean? The best thing you could do is refinance the property and pull a cat. Oh, you know what you can do? First lien HELOC. So tomorrow I'm shooting some more content with my boy Anthony Russian. Look on my channel under the playlist First Lien HELOC. You pull out a first lien HELOC on your property, and Anthony will let you know if you qualify. To me, that's number one. It's the fastest way to pay off a bank loan mortgage, but it also is like a revolving credit line on your house. So what happens is you get paid every single month, right? Let's say you make, I don't know, $50,000 a year. All of that income goes into your HELOC, right? And then so let's say you got $3,000 a month in expenses and you make 5,000 a month. So you got disposable income. Your entire check goes into the HELOC and you live off of it. So you literally get a debit card and you can spend the money as you see fit. Now you don't want to change up your lifestyle when you're doing this. You want to be
Right.
disciplined with the money because you're playing with your house at this point. But a first lien HELOC allows you to pay off your house in like literally 5 to 7 years. But in addition to that, it allows you to pull money from your house at will. So as you know, if I go out and get a regular mortgage on a house, I'm investing money into my house every month that I can't pull out unless I refinance. What a first lien HELOC allows you to do is invest the money into the house and pull it right back out if you needed it. So I got plenty of content on my channel. Again, go to my playlist, look up first lien HELOC or HELOC invest, whatever it is on my channel. Look under the playlist section. Go through some of those videos. I talk about it and I bring guests on that's talking about it a lot. We use it for real estate investing a lot. So you definitely want to educate yourself on how to do that. So that's
Yeah.
what that to me would be the best way to pull equity out your house without getting rid of your house. But other than that, in order to get the equity, you need to sell it or
Sell it.
refinance.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that, bro?
But selling it doesn't necessarily mean selling with a realtor. You can sell it on
Right.
terms, sell it
Sell
on
it.
option.
That's right.
So if you want that option of being able to maybe recoup it back one day, you know.
You know
Uh,
what's funny? Somebody asked me today because I got a flip that's on the market right now. They said, would I sell a finance the flip if he put down $60,000? So there's people out here with money, right?
yeah,
If you want to sell on terms, there's people with money, believe it,
yeah,
right? And if you have what they need, hey, they're all over the place. $60,000 down payment on
yeah,
a $320,000 house. I just might take that deal.
bro. I
For a
sold
period
I
of time.
sold my I sold an old AFL building that I couldn't figure out. It was
Mhm,
like a 15,000 square foot AFL building in High Point.
mhm.
Um, we had bought it for 90. I raised 130 grand to get it done, and we had just sat on it, for 2 years. I sold that joint for 350 on a seller financing note with $75,000 down. I gave the whole 75,000 to my private money guy, and then we end up getting the property back. The guy
Wow.
just needed it back. He couldn't make payments for 3 months,
Mm.
and my private money guy is just happy, smiling. He's like, let's do it again. I was
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Let's
That's
do
how
it.
you do it, man. A lot of
Yeah,
lease options work out that way.
yeah,
Unfortunately, people they stop making payments, man. So you just collecting these $10,000, $20,000 checks up front, and then
yeah,
people just paying for your house.
yep.
You
And
know.
what we did with that one is we had that guy who we sold it to, um, we had the closing attorney prep a deed just in case the guy was 60 days behind. And
Mm.
so he put a clause in the mortgage, a clause in the deed of trust that said if you're ever 60 days behind, then that attorney could record that deed of trust that deeded it back to us. And surely enough,
Yeah, that's
that's what
fire,
happened.
bro.
So yep, it was
Fire, man.
yep, absolutely.
Good stuff, man. We covering a lot today, guys. Here's Rob Austin. We're gonna take a few more questions. Do you have to re-add nutrients into the soil for plants?
Animals, boss. When you have animals, my mom attested, my garden is doing way better than her garden, but she thinks it's because I use, the wood chips and
Animal.
stuff from my chicken coop
Mhm, mhm.
in my beds. The soil from the goats and from the pigs. I use it in my garden. So she swears up and down that's why my gardens do better than hers and my grandma's. Um, and this is only my second year having animals like that. But but I would say that I have more grapes on my grapevine, you know, than some others that I know. I'm telling you, I will literally go outside right now and there will be 20 cucumbers on 6.
Coming over. Coming
Uh,
over.
it, it's for real. So do we rejuvenate the soil? The animals do that, boss. The
And
animals.
you know what else I like about, you making money off of farming? When we had that egg crisis, remember?
Yeah.
And it was something that you said to me. I said, so you didn't have to pay $28 for a carton of eggs. You said, what crisis?
And
I
yeah, I ain't
love
even
that.
know there was an egg
I
crisis,
love
bro.
it, man. I love
Bro.
it.
Yeah. No, literally. So my kids was just in Ohio for a couple weeks for the summer. Bro, my eggs stacking. I had 60 eggs. I had to take some and give them away at the barbershop.
Hey, you know how
Giving them
much
away,
60 eggs was? You know how much a carton of 60 eggs would cost during
bro.
that crisis? It was like $32, man.
Bro,
And you said
I
I should have went over to your house.
don't.
Didn't even think about it, man. But so we got some other questions that came in. Let's see. I like this question right
There it
here.
is. That's a good question. I like that one.
Bill Van. He said,
Yeah,
how are you marketing the events on the farm?" I really like
that's
that
good.
question.
That's good. I love that question. This is the way I do it because remember, I'm not doing this because I want to have events every day. Okay. So the way I do it is I partner with other people. They do the marketing for me because I'm a real estate investor. Okay. So I want to do marketing to buy houses. I want to do marketing to raise money. I want to do marketing to get tenants. So when I partner with a horse farm, 5811, right? Farms and stables. When I partner with a DJ, I hire my DJ. When a vendor pays me to come and sell food at my property, in that agreement is everybody has to say 5811 has to say I'm bringing my horses to the Ariat Manor Farms. Come out and ride horses. When I bring that DJ, the DJ has to put out there, hey, I'm DJing, come out to the area at Manor Farms. When a vendor pays for a spot, this is, hey, I'm serving food at this address, come on out. So I make sure that my partners do the marketing for me. So that way it's not another thing that I have to do. So that's how I'm marketing it. Now I do have a farm Facebook page, but the only thing I do there is keep my calendar there, to be quite honest. So I make a flyer and I just put it up on my calendar. And people have known us to just click interested or click the Eventbrite link and buy from there. But marketing, I leave that up to the people that I use in my events.
Love it, man. Good stuff, bro. What about red clay? Any ideas for land with red clay? I know here in North Carolina they eat red clay. I don't touch it.
Well,
that's
I
some
mean,
real
yeah,
country stuff, man.
we got red clay. We got red clay soil here too. But I mean, it don't. I mean, you gonna
You
be
ever
just
know
fine.
anybody eat red dirt, bro?
Nah. But red clay has a bunch of vitamins and nutrients.
Yeah,
It's just
not for
hard to
me.
get the roots. It's hard to get the roots deep down,
Yeah,
with those fruit
I'm not
trees and
making
those
a red
flowers.
clay sandwich, bro.
Yeah, nah. So, but Tanya, come on out to the farm. I'll show you
Yeah,
how we make it grow.
yeah. We're gonna talk
Um,
about how y'all could come out to the farm in just a minute. Rob Austin said, "Do you butcher the pigs yourself, or you take them to the
no,
butcher?"
nope. But I
What's
did
that
do a
cost?
deer. Yeah.
You did a deer yourself?
Yeah, me and Jesse, my neighbor in the back. Yeah. So
Wow.
when we got a deer, okay, when we got a deer, Jesse, they call it field dressing. But Jesse showed me how to do it. I'll never do it again, but it was a great experience.
Mhm.
So we did field dress the deer and he helped me butcher it up and he helped me package it.
Good
But
stuff,
it
man.
was just a first time experience.
Yeah.
Mr. Bennett, one of my investors, when we got a turkey off the land, he shot the turkey. I didn't. I missed. He actually shot it, but he helped me. He helped me put the turkey in the boiler, and we plucked it, and we deep fried the turkey.
Nice.
So do I do it myself? It was
You
great
try.
experience. It was great experiencing it with them. In the future, no, I'm not doing that. Like I said, right now, the hunting lease that I have with Brandon, he's he gets an animal and then he gives me some meat. So
Good
I'm a
stuff.
real estate investor. Let's be serious. But I do enjoy outdoors activities. So I'm not out there. I'm not out there myself, boss.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
We got Tam Reynolds. Have you bought tax foreclosure in Guilford? Um, how do you search to make sure it's free and clear? Do you use a title company or do it yourself? I mean,
Three
that's
questions in
yeah.
one.
Go ahead, bro.
Go now. You got it. No, you got it. Go ahead, boss.
I mean, I'm assuming you've done tax foreclosures already. I know I have. I've done plenty of them.
Facts.
As far as the free and clear stuff, I usually don't do the dirty work, man. I let the attorney handle that.
Facts.
And then do you use a title company or do it yourself? No, I'm not doing nothing myself. I'm using an attorney.
Yeah. Delegate to elevate,
Yep.
guys. Okay. Well,
That's wasted time.
the reason why I'm saying I'm not back there butchering my own pigs and butchering the deer is because I don't need to do that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Even in the
Praise,
beginning, you don't need to do that.
yeah, I don't need we praise God, I was able to come up with a package deal of 4, sell it to myself and make 17 grand. So I'll much rather focus on opportunities like that.
Right.
Last week I brought home a little 70 piece, you
Mhm.
know. So I want to focus on opportunities like that, you know. So do it's I never graduated from college.
Me neither.
But one
I
thing,
didn't
but
even
one
go to
thing I
college.
learned, yeah, bro, one thing that I learned that even if you don't graduate from college, you can hire somebody who
I went to
did.
college. Yep.
Praise God, and and they good. They
Yep.
love working. They
I
love working
tell
for
people
you.
that all the time, man. I didn't go to college, but I hired people who did. So
Yep.
there you go.
Yep. So do you buy tax foreclosure in Guilford County? So you're buying pre-foreclosure. You're buying before it gets foreclosed on, just so you know. Okay.
Mhm.
So absolutely, and you can pull that list online. Okay.
Cool.
You
We're gonna
know,
take just a couple more questions, bro. We
yep.
got Stephanie Lopez Castillo. What kind of events can we host to charge $150 per person for 150 people? That's a great
All right.
question.
So that's a really so look, this is something that you can do. So like for the trail rides in general, what people will pay is between 30 and $40 per person. But in order to get that number up to what you want is $150, instead of having a bar, you can charge per cooler. Say, hey, you
Mm.
can do BYOB and you can bring your own cooler for an additional $40. So now you up to 80. You know, you can bring in a special like artist, you know, you can bring in a special artist that's known and popular,
Yeah,
right? And you can make sure that you charge
concert.
a fee on top of that, or charge or say, hey, Mr. Tonio Armani or Mr. Mike Clark, when you come, can I have these guys, you know, pay additional to be close to you, and you come over and say hey and take pictures with them. So
Yeah.
that's how you charge an additional $40, is creating some, you know, VIP experience with a special artist. So, you
I
know,
also
yep.
not I also don't I don't think you need to try to I don't think you need to milk the $150 out of people. What you could do is provide things a la carte.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? So that's why I could see the benefit in that,
Yeah.
because $40 here, $40 there, it's going to add up to $150 anyway. But
Facts.
if you add it all in at $150, it's not, people going to look at that and say I'm not going to do it. But if they could get in the door at $25,
Right.
$30, and then you got other stuff there to upsell, that's where you're going
Yes.
to be able to make more money. I think
Absolutely.
people, they want to buy, but they don't want to be heavily sold to
Sold.
at a
Yes.
high price like that. You know what I mean?
See?
And,
That's good.
and it depends on what, if it depends on what it is. Obviously, some people
Yeah.
will naturally pay more for certain things because they see it as valuable.
That's
But
so good.
for
I
the
love the way, bro.
majority of
You know,
people,
I
yeah.
love the way you just broke that down, bro.
Mhm.
I love the way you just broke that down, because that's like, that's it. Like I think Jamel just gave it to you. You know, you don't necessarily charge $150. You say, hey, it's $30 to get in, but if you want to bring your tent, is an additional $20.
Right. And another thing, always know that a percentage of the people, say you got 150 people, just know 30 to 50 of them will buy everything else anyway. You know what I
Right.
mean? So that's going to be, you're going to have, I would count on 50 people, 30 to 50 people paying $150 out of pocket on something. Right. So that, in sales, the way it works is 20%, even 10% will make up 90% of your income. You know what I mean? So count on a smaller crowd that's gonna make up majority of that income. The other 90% are fillers. They're just paying the bills for you. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's the way you want to look at it. And I chopped up Castillo. That's what I meant to say. I said Castillo. My bad. Castillo. So I wanted to correct that. These are really good these are really good questions that you guys have. I'm gonna take one more, and then we got something else we want to share with you guys. Latanya Norton, for hunting lease, how much should you charge per acre year round? I like that. I think we kind of covered it, but
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. For 7 acres, I'm doing 375 right now. Like I just put that agreement together, this last hunting season in December. So, and the way I came up with that is I just asked other people, you know, um, I just asked other people. But mine is a little lower because once again, I wanted the benefit of being able to, you know, to say I got some deer meat, to eat some deer meat, to have some wild turkey, to have some rabbit, without necessarily doing it myself. So, but you can just ask other people that have land or that's looking for it. Just do a little Facebook group search. Hunting in North Carolina, hunting in VA, wherever you're from, and make a post and say, hey, how much, are you guys charging per acre? And just do a little survey and see what everybody else is doing in your market, because everything's going to be market, related. So.
Now, this is the ultimate question. It's the last question we're going to take for right now. Mr. Mosley, outside of the standard purchase and sale agreement, what other forms or documents will I need to help close the deal? Absolutely nothing. Just get the contract done, send it over to the attorney, close the deal. That's it. A lot of people think there's a lot of missing pieces to this stuff, and that's what holds a lot of people back. People get caught up in the paperwork and the nuances and things like that, when in reality, you don't need all of that stuff. All you need is an agreement. Just get it signed. Don't even offer any money down. Let the seller bring up how much money they want down. I never have that money down discussion with anybody. If it comes up, hey, here's $10. My client this weekend, he had to chase the guy to give him $10 to make it a solid contract. I've done that in the past. I've literally given somebody $1 just to make the contract valid, and he was about to drive off. He said, look, I don't even want the house. I literally had to chase him down. Wait a second. Here's $1. Let's make this valid. But my point in saying that is you don't have to think about all that stuff. Just get a purchase and sale agreement signed. And that's it. And then you explain to the attorney how you want to close the deal. That's it.
The attorney will make it legal. That's why you hire a good attorney. An attorney will make it legal.
Or a title company based on where you live. Like when I was living in Pennsylvania, we didn't close with attorneys. We closed with title companies. Yeah. So based on where you live, you're either going to use an attorney or a title company. That's the person that's going to structure the whole thing for you. All right. So who would like an opportunity to come spend a day with Sawand and I and really see this farm hacking stuff in real time? Get invited to the farm and walk around and just Sawand, what are some of the things we got planned for that day?
Well, so for the VIP day, first of all, I always like for anyone who comes in the night before, I always like to do a little mixer and just meet. We meet out, and I'll let everybody know where we're going to meet at. We'll just get to know each other. So, I mean, the connection, between us, the resources, the things that we share, that already there's a transfer of energy whenever I talk to Jamel anyway. But then on the actual day, first thing we do is we work on our bodies. So we meet at the farm first thing in the morning and we work out. After that, we will meet on the field at the farm and we'll go over real estate systems and strategies. So systems meaning how do we get leads, to buy the farm that you want, to buy the rentals that you want, to pick up the flips that you want. Processes It's like what happens first, what happens third, what happens last in order for you guys to be able to pick up real estate and property to be able to cash flow. And then lastly, we have some lunch. We break bread together. We also during that time we'll see one of our flip properties and go over construction. What does it look like to put together a scope of work? How do you pay your contractors? How do you make sure that you're staying on budget before you buy it so you don't lose? But essentially, we're going to be going over real estate basics at the farm while not just working on our mental, but also working on our bodies too. And it'll be a great chance to get connected.
Yeah, and if this is something that you guys are interested in, look, there's no pressure. If you just want to have a conversation to get more information on it, you can go ahead to dealproacademy.com/farm hacking VIP. All right. So I wanted to create something out of the farmhackingacademy.com website, but I didn't have enough time to do it. So it's dealproacademy.com/farm hacking VIP. dealproacademy.com/farm hacking VIP is scrolling across the screen. This is limited spots. It's not going to be for everybody. It does come with an investment, but you will get the value in return. If this is something that you guys are interested in, check out the website there. Sawand and I will be on the phone with you guys over the next couple of days until we fill the spots. And what's the date that we're planning on doing this, bro?
August 23rd. Like I said, a little extra time for anybody that comes in that night before. We'll definitely meet up and get together and kick it. But August 23rd, we're doing it. I love the VIP days because I can remember my first time I went to Arizona for my first training. And one thing that did it for me was it wasn't in one of their houses. You're going to be able to, be at the farm and be in one of our flip projects. But I got to sit in his car. And for me, I had never sat in a Rolls Royce. And so that feeling, so being in the house or being on the farm, being there in person, a virtual class is great for knowledge. Hired to be there in person, is amazing. So it's August the 23rd. And but I also do, I put together, some booklets that you guys can take home as well. But I love the VIP day, so I can't wait to have you guys. And we have a chef cook for us. Do you call my house a mansion or is it just like a big house? It's not a mansion. We eat in the house as well.
What you got? 6,000? Is it 6,000 square feet of finished space, or is it? Tell me.
It's 6,000 square feet of finished space. It's 3,000 square feet of unfinished space.
So you got 9,000 square feet total.
Yeah. I got 9,000 square feet,
bro.
Yeah. So we eat lunch in the mansion, prepared by a chef. So it's a dope, experience, it's a dope vibe, and we do a little farm tour. Like I said, I love it. It's one of the most fun days, that one of the most fun things that we do, here. So can't wait to see whoever comes out.
Shout out to my father, man. He's on the line. See him?
Mr. Gibbs, what's up, man? Oh, it's been a while.
Shout out to my dad. Let's see who we had another question that just came in, man, from Miss Castillo. It was a good question because I know you're doing it on the property. It was right. Let me just see here. It was right
I see it
here. So the question is, can you do like a shooting range day?
Yes.
I do live in Texas. Yes.
Yeah. Especially in Texas. Okay. In Texas, you only need 5 acres to shoot. With a berm. Shoot with a berm behind it. You need a berm. So yes, absolutely, you can do range days. And I mean, if you wanted to, you can have your range open every day. I know a guy in Trinity that has his range opened every day. He lives at the top of the hill. He has 10 acres just for a range, and he has several lanes all the way down at 100 yards. So, and he has his open every single day, and you pay for the year membership. Here, the only thing I do with my range, I prefer to use my range for my personal use, but I do partner with Dante Donnell, the sharpshooters. They do a concealed carry class. So quarterly, he does his concealed carry class. Here, the finishing part, not the sit down part, but the finishing part on the range. He does that here. And it's an easy $250 for them to be here for 2 hours. So I do that because he supplies me with some ammo as well, and it's just community. But yeah, you absolutely can do that.
Yeah, let me just double check the link. I know we had a couple people that said that they had some issues with the link. I just put the link in the chat box for you guys. So if you want to copy and paste it, feel free to do that. But the link is dealproacademy.com/farmhackingvip.
Oh yeah, no, it ain't. It's coming as you need access, request access.
Oh, okay. Let me open it up to. I probably didn't. Let me.
Yeah.
Let me open it up. Hold on one sec. Okay.
Hey, Mr. Castillo, bro. I'm a normal dude. I'm talking to a lot of you guys because I've been doing I've been opening it up to Jamel's audience that I'll do a free 15-minute call. Now you guys are kind of overwhelmed me with how many phone calls I'm doing, but
shout out to my audience.
yeah. But I'm like a normal. That's what I like about what I do. Normal dude just doing regular stuff. It ain't nothing magic or genius about it. It's just basic stuff that you actually can implement in the real world.
That's it. You guys can try now. Let me know if that works out for you. The link should be open right now. Let me know.
Yep, there it is. There it is. Yep.
Nightwolf says, in a wholesale deal, when do you care
yes.
to double close? Do you care if the seller sees the assignment? It depends. I don't really have a rule with that, Nightwolf. Usually, I've done $50,000 assignment deals. It doesn't really matter. It depends on the seller. You can kind of feel the seller out.
Or the state.
It depends on that as well. Because right now they're cracking down on how wholesaling is done in multiple states right now. In fact, my wholesale course, I kind of cover that stuff. But if previously what I used to do was anything over $10,000, I would double close it and then assign everything under 10 or up to 10. But I don't even really do that anymore. I've collected $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $70,000 wholesale assignment fees without even thinking twice about double closing. Sometimes is it beneficial to double close? Yes. But again, it depends on where the property is and it depends on the seller's motivation. You know what I mean? That's really what it all boils down to for me.
Yeah. So okay. So the package of 4 that I was telling you guys about earlier. My dog is trying to say hello. The package deal that I bought on Monday and sold to myself on Tuesday. I purchased it. What happened was the seller. Okay, I got it from my student. That's just so you guys know. That's the way I buy deals. I teach people how to find deals because I need deals, and if y'all can find deals, then we can make money together. So I bought it from my student, Sherelle, and the seller was adamant. He was adamant about not seeing that we were wholesalers. He kept saying that to her. He kept saying that to me. So now I paid her a $10,000 assignment. Now we did have that on the HUD, but I sold 50% ownership for $20,000. So technically we're making 30, and I was like, I don't want that on the HUD. And because I knew he didn't want us to wholesale it and he might not understand that I'm still the owner, I just sold 50% ownership for X amount. I decided to double close that. Now, In turn, I did have $3,000 in additional fees. So instead of me making 20, I only made 17. But that's the only reason why I double close, if I know it's going to hinder us actually closing the transaction. If not, then hey, I'm totally fine with a $30,000 on the assignments before. That's the highest assignment I've ever had. Nope, it was the apartment complex. I assigned a apartment
Did we do a
complex.
video on that one?
Well, that was the one. That was the one that I actually purchased. That was the one that I bought and hold for a year. But that was
the 8 unit. We did a video on that a couple years ago, right around the time you bought the house.
Exactly. Yeah, right on brag. Yep.
Cool.
But
cool. Sounds good, guys. So look, if you're interested in coming to spend a day with us, and you want to have a conversation on what that actually looks like, go to dealproacademy.com/farmhackingvip, dealproacademy.com/farmhackingvip. I hope you guys were able to benefit from the content that we provided today, the information. We covered a lot of different things, man. Is there anything else that we're missing, Sawand?
No, man. Look, we really hope that you guys get value out of these videos. You know, we understand that there's not a lot of people in this particular sector that's talking about it. And we understand that you guys got a lot of questions. So we're taking the time out of our day. Literally, my daughter is asking for my attention right now. We're taking the time out of our day to answer those for you. So when you see us come on and you have a question, feel free to, be open and ask that question. And we got you. There's no extra underlying thing that we're looking for. We're literally just here to, educate and inspire and be an example to you guys.
Exactly. With that being said, I gotta catch a movie with my family tonight in about an hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off the line. I really appreciate you guys hopping on the line tonight, and I hope that you guys were able to pick up value from this content. We look forward to doing a lot more of this. I think Sawand and I, we mesh really well together in regards to providing people with value. And I've known Sawand for literally 5 years at this point. Together with our information, you guys can accomplish anything that you want to accomplish as real estate investors. We are both hustlers. We both do what we got to do to feed our families, and we want to make sure you can feed yours too. So with that being said, guys, we want to help you get from where you are to where you want to go. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, share it, and reach out. If you want to have an honest conversation about how you can meet up with us in person, how we can help you further, go to dealproacademy.com/farmhackingvip. We look forward to talking to you guys on the next one. Take care.
Peace, y'all.